What's up, everybody? It's Marion. This is our second video in how to start over. Again, I want to remind you of our scenario. Average person in this time of year of a pre-winter, late fall, early winter has lost their job and lost their home, and they have their last check, $500 to $1,000 on them that they have to live on through the winter, a minimum of 3 months, and to be able to take care of themselves and to supply their needs. All right, with that being said, we talked about clothing, what to wear, how to pick certain clothing for the weather to be able to handle yourself out there. Again, reminding us that being outside is a final option. That being outside is a final option. Remaining outside for extended periods of time is a final option. There are other options to ensure that you actually have secure shelter if you are just willing to kind of bend a little bit. There are some places where you can have shelter for at least 18 of 24 hours a day, if not 24 hours a day, if you work it. So now let's talk about transportation. The reason why I've gone over layers first is because if you're outside, the elements will hurt you quicker than anything else. And the reason why I'm picking transportation as a second option of importance is because there are resources around your city and in your outlying areas that if you can't get to it, if you don't have a car, and this is for the person who does not have anything, does not have a car, does not have a vehicle to get around in, and cannot afford insurance and gas and those things. If you're starting over, the first thing that I would say, if you have any money on you, if you have your last check, get a monthly bus card. No matter how much, get a monthly bus card. I personally have learned how to use the system of the buses to sleep. You can use them to get to places where you find that has free food, that has resources of free donated clothing. All of your resources are no good if you can't get to them. So start out with your bus and using the bus as a shelter. You find the line, you find if you have a train system, you find that line that'll run on your particular train or bus card that you spend monthly, and you take it from one end to the other. Even if that gives you an hour and a half, 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours, you ride that during the rush hour when everybody's so focused on getting to work. You know what I'm saying? When they trying to get on their grind, they're not worried about you. Have your stuff, and have your backpack on you. Have a small pack on you, and tuck in a corner, And if your city is, study your city, study the places that are safe, study the places where it's a little bit too hectic, to work in, and you can actually, if you take care of transportation, you can actually have a place to sleep, and catch cat naps. Speaking of which. And I know I need to be talking about this mainly on the shelter piece, but I just got to feel led to go here. Scheduling is everything. Knowing when your last buses are. When are the last buses? Knowing the window of time that the buses are not running and stuff is not open. If you look at it closely, you'll find that there's like a 4 to 6 hour window between when buses are running and when stores open. So during that time, there's another way. You have to find another way to find somewhere to lay your head. So you don't sleep during that time of night or morning, depending on how your bus system is set up. You actually sleep during that rush hour. When everybody's getting at between 6 a.m., 5:30 a.m., 6 a.m., and like 9:30, 10 a.m., when everybody's trying to get to work, that's kind of like your snooze time. Your first snooze time of the day is during that time. And if you do that, then that'll work. The second variant for transportation that you want to focus on is, if you can, from your nearest pawn shop or rummage sale or free market. Day one, I will go purchase the cheapest mountain bike that I could find and learn how to ride it. I found this mountain bike at a rummage sale, fully operational, and it only needed air in the front tire. Let me see. Still full. Air in the front tire, $5. And if you get on Craigslist in your community, you can actually get a bike for free. You want a bicycle versus being on foot, because a bicycle will I can't tell you how many times that I've been able to not only carry gear, carry, and when I got tired and didn't feel like carrying my pack on my back, I could put my pack right on this back of this here and carry it. It makes your time, it just speeds you up exponentially. Sometimes when the buses, there was a spot that I had to go eat, that if I didn't make it between 12 and 1, I didn't eat. That bike actually made things work. And then when it comes to getting stuff fixed and stuff, there are so many resources. Check out Sheldon Brown. He's a definite resource on fixing bicycles and learning how those work. Having a bicycle and having access to getting bikes for free is an invaluable resource, because it'll get you out of some jams real quick. So that's transportation. I kept it simple. I would not spend, if you got a budget between $500 and $1,000, I would not worry about a motor vehicle at all. I would not worry about a motor vehicle at all. If you got any money, I would set 3 months aside for bus tickets, and I would buy a bike under $50 or free if you could scavenge a bike. I would do that because that covers it gets you to resources. So without rambling and talking a lot, God will do it. The transportation was much shorter. Go to Walmart, make sure that you get inner tubes for the size tire that you have. Make sure that you get a small, I keep in a small military surplus magazine case a pair of vice grips that allows me to take my wheels off. I stick with 26-inch because many of the mountain bikes that are out there on the road right now have 26-inch wheels. I can take the wheel, I can go to a pawn shop and see a cheap bike that might have better wheels or better setup, and I can cannibalize other bikes to make my bike run. Other than that, God will do it. Hang in there. You're going to make it. So, video 1, we nixed layers and clothing. Video number 2, we just nixed transportation. We're going to work this thing out. God loves you. Love y'all.